You know what time it is. It's time to pour yourself a drink. I don't care if it's top shelf, bottom shelf, or you made it in the bathtub. It's time for another edition of Off the Wall. Possibly one of my favorite characters I've ever worked with in 20 years of film.
Nice.
Because you did not expect Jack to be Jack. And to give everybody a rough background, Jack is a character in well, it was supposed to be a sitcom, but it turned out to be more of a dramedy when it was all said and done. But Jack was this character that worked at the bar, and she had kids. Was Jack married? I couldn't remember.
She was divorced.
That's right, she was divorced.
Uh-huh.
But the fun thing about Jack is Jack had to, and you kind of took it upon yourself to come and like whatever. And I remember the day, because I was directing, and I remember the day you came with your curlers on.
Yes.
And I'm like, don't change it. I want her to go on set in her curlers. You were actually pissed. You were like, I know this is not what I had planned.
No, it hurt. I had bruises and like some burns on my head.
Oh wow, I'm glad to know that now that I feel
okay.
Okay.
I stuck through and made my character, man. I didn't complain.
No, you didn't. Like, you were like, okay, so that's going to bring us to our first topic. Welcome to Off the Wall, ladies and gentlemen. And today our first topic of the day is divas. Who's worse, men or women?
Divas.
I'm here with my boy Marcus, Jim Lee, and we actually have, which I hope is going to be a permanent guest on our show, we have the Jessica fucking Johnson. All right, the Jessica Johnson. We're going to get into that story a little bit later, but we're going to talk about divas, and since we've all had to work with them in one form or another, but no, you were definitely not a diva.
I've been like racking my brain, like, how have I worked with any divas? I'm like, maybe I'm the diva because I can't think of any that or maybe I'm just off in my own world.
You and the other actor, Seth, did pretty much stay all off by yourselves and smoke cigarettes. And,
yeah, that's all we did.
You know.
We just hung out. That's all we did. Smoked cigarettes and talked about not what was going on.
Marcus, you're in music. Have you dealt with any divas?
I don't even know where to start.
Okay, no, I think it's the preconceived notion that divas aren't just one gender or it's female.
It's not just
male.
women.
No. And I think there's a preconceived notion that it's just women.
No.
Yeah, that's one of the worst parts about it too, because it turns out, honestly, I feel like men typically are the ones that tend to be more divas. Because
are they just big babies? Are they man children?
I think that's what it is. I think it's a level of immaturity.
I think it's the ego. I think their little ego can't handle like things not going their way sometimes.
That's true.
Like,
wow, I like how you looked at me when you said that. You were giving like this big stare, like, I've worked for you as a director, and you were a prick. It's like, okay, well,
no,
good to know.
No, just Sunday's your man child.
Oh, really? Okay.
Everybody has their days of being a diva. It's not just men or women. It's like everybody.
Well, like Jamie was saying, the definition of diva goes way beyond what a lot of people think it is.
Yeah.
Because some of the worst divas that I've met and worked with are people that did the opposite of what the stereotypical diva would do. Like, people think divas show up on set and they expect all this grandeur and like all these things when they get there. I know, Jamie, you'll know who I'm talking about. I've worked with certain individuals who showed up 3 hours late, and they were hungover and drunk, and it was just absolutely ridiculous, and they thought that they could just do whatever they want.
And they haven't had a paying job, like, almost their entire life.
Right,
but yet they wanted to show up and, like, okay.
It was an opportunity, for sure.
Being Jennifer Lopez. You guys know what Jennifer Lopez, when she does, like, when she goes to places and, like, performs? All the toilet seats in her hotel and her room have to be replaced.
What?
Yep, that is one of the provisions that she puts.
It's not porcelain nice.
You know? But that's one of the things, like, when you start talking about like smaller venues that can't afford the money, and I can go off on a rant on because of how I've been in the business, but I mean, you start calling up a venue, like, we won't talk about the town that we live in, but you know, you go down here to and you ask them to replace the toilet seats for the star, that can literally be a deal make or break, and that's just not fair to the fans.
Right.
And that's my deal. Is like, if you're going to be a diva, don't. But here's the thing. Did you say you love Jennifer Lopez?
No, I said
I
her
do.
ass was.
You do?
Oh, I fucking
She's got a great. I mean, I was saying like she looks at it.
It's
I think
not.
she's
it
the
should
most
be legal that
untalented.
you can be that old and that hot. Let's just.
No.
Okay, you know what? I'll give her that. I'll
Yeah.
give her that. You know what? And I don't care. And I don't care if she's had plastic surgery or anything like that, because my girl, the woman that I was supposed to grow up and marry. Not that my wife isn't amazing and
Gina
perfect.
Carano?
No, that's who
Just
you
kidding.
wanted to grow up and marry.
Yeah.
Let's just call that what that is. But no, Dolly Parton.
Oh, that's right.
I grew
yeah.
up with a massive
That's
crush
true.
on Dolly Parton. To this day, what do they call her? The Queen of Graceland, the Queen of Music. Like, people have no idea how rich Dolly Parton really is. But at the same time, she looks good. But like what she said, when somebody made fun of like, well, Dolly's gotten plastic surgery. She looked at what's the older guy that used to not Don King, Larry King. He used to interview people, and he was interviewing, I think, Dolly Parton. He goes, well, what about when people talk about you having plastic surgery? She goes, honey, if it's sagging, bagging, or dragging, I'm going to get it nipped, tucked, and sucked, and I don't care. I mean, so we
At least
all
she's
know.
honest about it.
Yeah,
You left that part of that story out. You thought when you were a kid that everybody looked like Dolly Parton.
Well, yeah, I grew up in a very so I did. I grew up in a very remote, like, I grew up in a really small town. And my mom even wore a Dolly Parton wig growing up. Like, I mean, I thought that all women had big boobs and wore a Dolly Parton wig. And so when I got into the real world and I met brunettes, I'm like, well, this is a freaking letdown. I'm like, I remember going to church, in the one church that I didn't go to where all women didn't look like Dolly Parton. I'm like, God, you mean women can actually have dark hair and small boobs? I mean, like, is this really possible? Yes, I was very let down that not all women look like Dolly. We'll go back to there another time. But no, like Jennifer Lopez, like, I think she looks great. I think she looks absolutely amazing. I think she is the most untalented person ever.
What do you think, Marcus?
Think about what?
What do you think about Jennifer?
He got really quiet when I was saying I think she's the most untalented person ever.
No. I was doing my job, Junior. Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do it.
No,
kids.
honestly, all around, I just feel like J-Lo's super iconic in general, just for the sake of like what she's done philanthropy-wise.
Yeah, you gotta give her that.
You know, and she's so dedicated to every role that she's played in the world of film. You know, I'm sorry, I don't care who you are, but to have the opportunity to play Selena in a film, that's a fucking honor.
Yeah, that was
and
pretty
she
cool.
definitely took that honor on very strongly.
Somebody
She
who's
did
not
really well.
Mexican, because Jennifer Lopez is Puerto Rican. Right?
I believe she's Puerto Rican.
I didn't know that.
She's not Mexican. So to not
Wow.
have a Mexican actress, you would here. But see, that's we can go
But
off on
it
a
shouldn't
tangent.
matter, though. She still did it justice.
That's
Exactly.
the thing. I think that's where we get so wrapped up in. We'll talk about our show, The Neighbors, that's coming out, where we're worried about things. But I think when somebody does a role beautifully, and just because they weren't the right nationality or the right gender or whatever it may be, if they do that role justice, screw you for saying, well, you should have got a, like the big thing right now is there's a big push in Hollywood to get the gal, in which Captain Marvel, as far as I'm concerned, is the worst. That woman as a superhero is the worst actress on the planet. However, they want her to step down, and this is a no BS movement. I'd love to get a comedian's take on this, and feel free to offend all of our audience members. But they want her to step down so that a black lesbian woman can play the role of Captain Marvel. And it's like,
Why?
dude, this was a comic book written in like the 50s when they were first starting to empower women. And you want to read a great book? I mean, read the book or watch the movie of Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was a character developed by a polyamorous professor who was married to two women and was like one of the first polyamorous couples ever. But people are like, look, you know what? If it's a character and they do it justice and they make it a wonderful character, don't.
Right, like
Yeah.
if a black lesbian woman can play Captain Marvel better than so
Then let her do
but
it.
that's because she's a talented actress.
But,
It doesn't mean her
yeah.
sexuality or any of that.
Somebody was talking the other day about like in this day and age, Daniel Day-Lewis, when he won the Academy Award for My Left Foot, that now they would be disgusted with that, and that the handy-abled or disabled community would want an actual disabled person playing that role. And it's like, okay,
That's like getting upset that Leonardo DiCaprio played Gilbert Grape.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Like,
Exactly.
Like,
It's
that's
just,
one
It
of
doesn't matter.
the most iconic movies ever in terms of his acting.
how do
ability.
you dog? And I hate Sean Penn, but how do you dog Sean Penn in My Name is I Am Sam? I mean that, or I'm sorry, the one that I think is the best, and we'll get back to topic. I think the best movie of that was The Other Sister. I think Juliette Lewis, and I can't remember that kid's name because he was in Saving Private Ryan. I think that those two, that goes to show you that the Academy is BS, because Juliette Lewis, I think that's the best role she's ever played. And everybody who was in that, Tom Skerritt was in it. I mean, the actors they had in it, that's about two people who are mentally handicapped who want to get married. I mean, it's just, and it's so real. And it was a beautifully done. So anyway, back to divas.
So Shannon Doherty, I just found her on top 11 biggest divas of
You know,
the
I want to
entertainment
slam
industry.
her, but isn't she like dying with cancer?
Yeah.
She's like,
Is she?
yeah, she's
Yeah.
like dying.
Okay, well then let's not do
Yes.
her.
But you know what though?
Well, I was just gonna say though, because I loved her as a kid because she was one of the sisters in Charmed, and Charmed
Yeah,
was one of
Charmed.
my favorite TV shows.
Wow.
Really?
You're so young,
Oh my
because I'm
God.
actually
I
remembering
do.
90210.
I do
Okay.
too, but barely.
But think about the 90210 curse. I mean, I hate to say this.
Well,
but
Luke, what's his name? He was in Riverdale. He passed.
He just passed
No
away. And
way,
he passed
yeah.
away young. Luke Perry.
Luke Perry, yes.
Which was amazing because I come from a rural community, and I'll tell you what, you know, whether you loved or hate the movie, I hated the movie 8 Seconds because it made Lane Frost look like he was some great thing, and he was a womanizer and a drunk. I mean, and I knew who he was, and I mean, there are a lot of people that could come on here and be like, "Oh, tell me I'm wrong." It's like, no, he was still a decent guy, but at the same time, he did that character justice. And I'll tell you what, that rocked the rodeo community. Luke Perry dying. I mean, he was like their ambassador, but so I can't get on Shannon Doherty because I feel like a jerk for tons.
Yeah.
We can get off Catherine.
But here's a fun one.
Yeah. Let's go on this Catherine
Hagel.
Heigl
Oh.
bandwagon here.
Catherine Hagel. How do you guys feel about her?
She annoys me.
I love her literally just because of the movie The Ugly Truth.
You know what I like
I
her in the
really
best?
fucking love that movie.
Okay, I need to say this. I love her in the movie The Ringer.
Okay, yeah, fair
What?
enough.
What did she put in the ringer?
She was the girl in The Ringer.
Oh, and from coming out of the TV?
No, she was the one that was
The one with not Johnny Knoxville.
yeah, well, Johnny Knoxville. I love
yeah.
nuts.
He pretends to be part of the Special Olympics so that he can
Olympics
date
are
that
gonna fix the
girl.
Special
Are you
Olympics.
kidding?
I just got her to watch that the other night. We're like almost half. Oh my god! So we're halfway through it, and she's like, "I can't watch this. I cannot
I'm like
do this
this.
anymore."
Oh my God.
It's gonna get better. It ends up being very empowering for the Special Olympics, but like for the first part, she's like,
Like,
I
let's get to
can't.
the good part, please.
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore. But
Like, oh, this is so awkward.
I've
I'm not even
heard,
there.
and actually, rumor has it that, and I won't, get into it like from the people I know, but rumor has it she really committed career suicide. Like she was so difficult to work with.
Catherine?
Well, that's actually what. So according to
Why?
this Huffington Post article, so she is known for being extremely unprofessional, quote, flaking on meetings and making ridiculous demands.
Yeah.
It looks like she's always complaining. Sofia Vergara, actually, it sounds like what struggled with her on set in the film New Year's Eve, which actually I really enjoy that movie.
You
And
And I'll tell you right now,
I've
I've
never
actually heard
seen
that
it.
Sophia Vergara is like the person you want to work with.
Yeah.
Like if you
She's
have children
pretty-
on the set, she brings people to like do craft day for your children. I mean, like she's
Oh,
like
gosh.
you want her
She's
living like
moms
next
on
door.
set, too.
Now I can't verify that because I've been out of Hollywood for like how long have you been married? 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay,
you
so
know
5
kids
years.
anyways.
I've been out of Hollywood for 5 years.
I do.
But
Jessica would appreciate it.
Jessica would appreciate it.
Yeah.
But no,
I
I hear
work
that
with you.
I hear that Sophia is like the person you want to work with.
I just
She
love
even
her.
did a.
I will say, no disrespect to her, but I cannot stand her voice.
Really?
To be honest, it's not even just the accent or anything. It's just the way her voice sounds. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me.
Huh.
But you're a sound guy, so that stuff can be kind of weird to you every
Yeah.
now and
Yeah, but at the same time, like she's taken that and turned it into like part of her brand. Like Sylvia Vergara just when you hear her talk.
Oh, you
don't even have
can.
to see her. You know what I mean?
You know who she
But I
reminds
can't
me of is a
stand
modern. Oh no.
Are we talking about Sophia or Catherine?
So she's
Oh,
talking about-
okay.
But you know what Sophia reminds me of? She's like the modern. Okay, look, man. This is gonna come off really weird, but you remember the Hoochie Coochie girl back in the '80s? She was a Latin actress. she was on a lot of shows. She even did the Chiquita banana thing.
Yes.
What is her
okay.
name?
Yeah. I have.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna kill me, because to me, like, that woman set the stage for women to be that over the top and show off the beautiful. I mean, look, she was showing curves. I mean, I can remember a lot of private time in the bathroom with me and some tissues and some hand cream with that woman, and I can't believe that I'm doing her injustice. But don't give me that look, both of you. I mean, seriously, like you didn't rub one out over Tom Cruise or something.
Definitely not Tom Cruise.
Yeah. What the hell are you thinking?
Oh my God.
It lines
Okay.
up with his
So moving
Okay.
on. So at this point, it sounds like Catherine is kind of a struggle. I trust Sophia too. I think it's honestly kind of comical that Sophia blatantly told her to be grateful that she was even in the role in the first place.
That's
Oh
funny.
wow.
So
That's
what do you
Catherine
guys
is
think
coming in at number 7.
About other actors and actresses kind of telling other actors and actresses, hey, cool your jets. Do you think there's hope for that? I know this is just a little off topic, but do you think there's hope for in acting and the Hollywood that there is still?
Well,
I think there's hope in the sense of independent filmmaking. I don't think that's ever going to change in like the commercial
But can I,
industry.
you know what? But can I throw that in a different way? You know, you own a studio
Oh, yeah.
and you direct. You directed Jessica and I both.
And Marcus, too.
How would and Marcus too? How would you feel if you had an actor on set pulling one of your stars aside, going, "Hey, you need to calm your, cool your tits."
I mean, I think
Would
if they're doing it in a professional way, I think it is very helpful and take it on leading up the chain as far as doing that.
Yeah, directors can be divas and control freaks just as much as
Agreed.
anybody else.
Agreed.
Man,
Agreed.
not even.
Yeah.
Have you had any divas like in the comedy and the improv?
I think comedy is pretty, like, we're all really laid back and we all pretty much drink a lot, so we're just all chill. I can't really think of any, like, I haven't really worked with any of them, like, doing other things. But as far as, like, comedy or improv, we're all just pretty relaxed.
Well, the one thing that I heard about comedy, and I was fascinated to hear, like, Joe Rogan's podcast, which is like the podcast we all want to aspire to. But I heard him talk, like, man, I had no idea how dark of a world a lot of comedy is. Like, a lot of comedians are very depressed,
Yeah.
and like hearing some of the backstories behind, like even Robin Williams, and like they become kind of a. I don't want to go down there. That'd be a great
other
show.
people happy. They never have time.
Yeah,
to make
and
themselves happy.
I don't want to
You
go
see
because
that,
I think
though.
we could talk a whole show about that. But like he was a poster child for basically wanting other people to be happy, but yet he suffered alone.
Mhm.
And that's. Do you see that in the comedy?
Well, me myself, yeah, I see that in myself because I suffer from depression quite severely.
I didn't know that.
Yes, I do.
We've known you
and-
for a long time. I did not.
Yeah,
know that.
I do, and I have anxiety, and I think comedy became...
You have 3 children. How can you not have anxiety?
Exactly.
I mean,
But I think comedy kind of became like it's like a defense mechanism, and then when you find that the defense mechanism actually makes people happy, and to be around happy people is great. I don't know if that makes any sense.
yeah, no, it does.
I have a handle on my depression because I know that it's going on, but I think a lot of comics suffer from that because it is a defense mechanism. It happens because you want to block out the bad, so you have to spin it around to make it something beautiful.
All right, so because we were on the, I'll get back to let's touch on that on the show one of these days. Let's
Okay.
actually talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah,
Because I have a very I'm very outspoken that I don't like, and we have somebody who works for Jamie's studio. Like, I'm very much against the, and I'm going to use it wrong, so bear with me here. But the actor that, like, the Daniel Day, man, this is not to take away from his accolades. I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis just puts his name on something, he gets an Academy Award.
Mhm.
But this is a guy that dives so far into a role that he's very outspoken, and he has to go to therapy for 2 years afterward to get out of it. I disagree with that. If you do a lot of the
Is that
research
the guy who
into
did
My Left Foot,
Machine? or the machinist.
No, but he's just as
Yeah,
he's almost as bad.
I don't know why that comes to mind when
Christian,
going deep in Christian
okay, there
Bale.
we go. There's a great segue. I have heard that Christian Bale is one of the most difficult people that you've ever worked with.
Why? But he
But I'll tell you what, the Christian Bale goes on this rant. Some poor cable gaffer walks in front of the camera. And if you've ever worked on a set, you got like, Jamie, step in. And here's the other thing. You worked on a very busy set with Loco. You got people walking around back there, and sometimes things happen. He goes off on this rant and just belittles and just slams this kid, calling him like an effing idiot. And you know what I'm trying to do here? Like, dude, you're doing fucking Batman, okay? You're not going to win an Academy Award for being Batman, so don't be an asshole. But I've heard he is literally next to him, and that's why, like...
No, let me interject. I've bit, being a director, I've bit a little bit people. I'll escalate. And Jessica can contest this. I'll let people know, hey, you need to shut up. Hey, quiet on set. There's one thing, hey, I'm sorry I didn't hear. But to know that you're filming and people aren't being quiet. I've also matured a little bit. I know how to...
You're a great showrunner, though. You've never really...
I'll jump some people's shit, but I'll do it respectfully. I won't demean them. I'll tell them, hey, I'll escalate it from how they act. There's some days I'll...
But I think the audience needs to understand the kind of... And Marcus, Jessica, and myself can vouch for this. And you guys step in on this, but you're a different director in the aspect of, hey, if saying this line is not coming off of your tongue right, and we can make it better for you, let's make it better for the character. And I mean, you get those directors like, no, you didn't use the third the in the sentence. We must do it over. Like,
maybe I'm naive, or maybe it's just. And I've heard horror
maybe you
stories.
appreciate the art. You're not going to be that nitpicky because that takes away from the art.
And I hear even from you and a lot of other people they've dealt with different directors going, oh, this guy was a prick, I'm not going to deal with him. He just expects way too much. I'm trying to do my lines, and he wants it to a T. But I'm sorry, an English, proper English person isn't going to talk the way we talk, who isn't from Montana.
Yeah.
So that's not fair. You can't make their mouth or tongue move a certain way.
Right.
That's not fair at all. And I don't think setting someone up to fail right off the bat is very fair to anybody or the project that you're on.
Well, and I feel like there's got to be a mindset as a director that if you can't do it, why would you expect for your staff to do it? If you can't get out in front of that camera and do your best and try to portray that role as well, yes, your job isn't the actor or the actress, but if you still can't give that all, then why are you expecting other people to do it?
Yeah,
I feel like that's a big fault that happens a lot, is half the jobs that these directors give out to people, they can't do themselves.
I think that's the difference between being a leader and being just somebody who points their finger, hey, do this, this, and this. And I think you get more respect being on the front line with who you're working with than saying, you need to do this, and I don't give a shit about your feelings. And to me,
James Cameron, I personally think James Cameron is one of the best, modern day directors. I mean, even just Avatar alone, not even considering what he did with the Titanic. Avatar alone is an amazing movie.
It's funny. Are you an Avatar fan?
I am. I like it. I thought it was a little overblown. To be completely honest.
I was not impressed.
I thought it was just. So the graphics were great, but I really kind of was hoping for something to be something more of an original storyline. It was just basically a love story that we've heard over and over again.
Yeah,
I wanted something new, and if you're gonna it's gonna be this huge deal of this is new, this is so avant-garde. I want to have the story fresh. I don't want this typical, basically Romeo and Juliet, or this love story.
It really was. It was a Romeo and Juliet. It was Shakespearean. Template.
Yeah,
it really was.
Yeah. So I'm talking, I guess, more from a production standpoint.
Oh God, the production standpoint.
Yeah, that was great.
Right, and that's kind of what I'm saying. Because if you watch some of the videos, because I've seen some videos that have been leaked from some of the production of the current Avatar, the sequels that he's working on. And he looks more like he's just hanging out with the best friend when he's directing than anything else.
Really?
And that's why I think.
But I'll tell you, impressed me, I really did a lot of research into what they went through to make The Abyss.
Oh,
Oh
yes.
What do you
my
mean?
God! It just, you know what?
There's an underwater scene that they do.
Well, the whole
It's,
thing is underwater.
massive.
And it was in like it was like a
It's basically
was
like
it a nuclear? It was like a
Atlantis, I think.
nuclear a silo that had filled up with water or something like that they used.
Is this a movie or are we
Yeah,
still
The
talking about
Abyss.
Avatar?
We're still talking about Avatar because
Oh.
they're like for the production because they're sequels.
Oh, no, I was talking about James Cameron because he did The Abyss.
Okay, I
Oh,
was
the movie
confused.
The
Yeah,
Abyss.
I mean,
I was
I
like,
thought you were
water
talking
scene
and one
in
of- and-
Avatar?
but no, his his way of going. She's like, wait a minute, I have no idea.
The king of water scenes.
But he is, and that's why because a lot of people don't realize, and you got to look into this. And if I'm speaking off the cuff, I think James Cameron was one of the big influencers and financiers of when they actually found. Because remember, I don't know if everybody here is old enough to remember this, but we didn't find the Titanic, but a couple, like some years back, like it was.
Right.
It disappeared for a long period of time. And I want to say that James Cameron was one of the people who helped finance
Oh,
the
yeah.
finding of the Titanic. So,
Well, shit, James Cameron did so much research. There's actually one of the actors in the movie that was actually involved in the incident. He was one of the only survivors from the Titanic. And
I didn't know that.
I believe he was one of the chefs on the ship. And the only reason he survived is because the moment that everybody was notified during the actual event happening, when everybody was notified that the ship was sinking, he started drinking like ungodly amounts of booze.
Oh, God.
And the only reason he survived is because the alcohol kept his body temperature high enough that he could withstand being in the water. The reason
Because
that there's all the
That's
doors and the
crazy.
chairs floating in the water,
yeah.
he was the guy that started throwing that stuff off for people to use as flotation
No
devices.
way.
Yes. And the movie, when the boat actually goes up and actually starts just like directly going straight down into the
Yeah.
water,
Mhm.
that's actually how that happened. That scene was written based off of the story of this gentleman telling what actually happened. He was in the exact same spot in real life that he was in the film.
I love it when
He
people do
Wow,
stuff
up
that
on the
is
railing
really
when it
cool.
shows Jack and Rose and they're up on top of the railing
Yeah.
as the boat's just like falling into the water. He was right there. He actually experienced that. He's one of the only survivors.
Wow.
So that right there goes to show James Cameron obviously did his research,
And
or at least
alcohol
paid
is
somebody
good.
a lot of money.
And alcohol.
Alcohol is good.
Yeah. Drink
So
up.
lesson of the day,
that.
folks.
Like,
As
screw Alcoholics Anonymous.
we're all drinking rum.
I put it in my McDonald's tea,
That's-
so
I'm
That's
still
a great
drinking it
idea.
raw.
I
Okay,
put water in my.
So let's
So-
try to finish off on
Captain
male
Marvel.
divas.
Oh yeah,
Male
we
divas.
got off
Yeah,
subject, guys.
we got to try to finish some.
yeah.
male
So let's do
divas.
this
Well, that's why it's off the
topic
wall.
and then let's
But-
cut so I can take a smoke break.
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I love that.
Lady P break.
So male divas. Let's see what do we got here. I know Matt Damon, I believe, is known.
We don't talk about.
That's
We
horrible.
don't talk
Justin Bieber, that doesn't even kind of surprise me. I don't even
No,
want to talk about
no.
him. He's so
We
disgusting.
saw a
At least we
comedian.
talk
We
about
saw a
the female.
comedian the other night that talked about Brad. What's his name? He's the midget.
Oh, you better look that up because if you.
Brad
I
That's
believe,
right.
I
Brad.
believe the socially acceptable term is dwarf.
No,
Oh,
No,
he prefers
little
midget.
people.
Does
Pretty
he?
sure.
Oh yeah, he's the one that's
Okay.
abrasive about it.
Well, I know. I just want to make
But
sure.
anyway, he was talking about like the 5 most famous midgets, and like the first one was Peter Dinklage, and then it was Wee Man, and then like he's like in the top 3, and like he said, and in the top 5 female midgets, Justin Bieber. Like, just loaded on
You
it.
saying on one of his bits when he first did that, Justin Bieber was in it.
Was pissed.
Oh.
Yeah, like he
Oh,
came backstage. He's like, I
We're
don't
like-
find that joke very funny. It's like,
Yeah,
dude,
I was like, what are you gonna do?
you're
I'm
lucky
a
you were just
midget
in
and I'm
the
Didn't
cute,
find it very
so-
funny when
Yeah.
you wrecked a $30 million vehicle because you were 17 years old and drunk. Don't even
That
get me
poor
started
kid.
about that.
That's a
Oh,
weird
man,
story in
he's
itself.
He was ruined. I'm sorry, but his fame ruined him.
Oh,
Yeah.
big time.
But moving on.
Okay.
So on this list, we've got Kanye.
Oh,
Duh.
well, you know what? We'll
Tom.
talk about
Isn't
Kanye
that the
in
one
the
where I'm
show.
99 problems, but you sure ain't one? Is that who that goes
Because
to?
he's the problem.
Rapper Baxter.
You know,
Jesus.
I don't think Simon Cowell's a bad dude.
Honestly,
If
I
you
feel
find out how he
like
I
made his
think he's
millions,
just misunderstood.
I feel like
I
he
want
had
to
to be
marry.
super cutthroat to make his career work.
do you know how he made his
He's
millions?
so genuine now, though.
Yeah, but you know how he made his
he is.
millions?
Very humble.
He was the original like executive producer. He proved he before he even like people even knew who he was. He produced all the music for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and all that stuff.
Really?
He was making. He had
My
gold.
little kid inside of me is like, yeah!
He had like gold records, like no BS. He had gold records of like and platinum records of selling the soundtracks for
Does each one
Mighty
have
Morphin
like a Power Ranger on it?
I don't care what that kind of bank account. I don't. So we'll have to talk about like people who made a living. So I don't think he's necessarily a bad guy. I think he just requires you to work. You know.
Why
I
are
mean-
none of these surprising?
I know.
Like this
Yeah,
one,
Timberlake
it's so
does
funny.
surprise
So
me, though.
I
this
think
one
we
does
can
because like I'm
agree.
in love with him.
JT is
You know what?
It
Here's the
is
thing.
literally the reason I started questioning my sexuality. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Really?
Oh, huh.
Justin Timberlake for sure.
He's
No
the
kidding.
reason I'm like, yeah, it's
You know,
straight.
He was the first person I realized.
I'm not going to believe that he's a diva because you know you can. And this is what everyone knows my background
Maybe
for the
he's
most part.
changed.
But no, here's the thing.
No.
He was in
No.
Trouble with the Curve. Okay, Amy Adams, Clint Eastwood. You don't work with Clint Eastwood and be a diva. He will shut you down now. And I got stories that I know of people that I work with very closely and working with Clint Eastwood, and they say he is he's like having your freaking Jedi father on set.
Maybe his personality is a diva, but maybe his demands are.
You
never know.
wouldn't have got away with that with any Clint Eastwood picture.
Yeah.
And that's where I have a hard time with Justin Timberlake. And I know Justin Timberlake's wife,
Yeah.
Jessica Biel.
who went to high school in Boulder. Jessica had a great reputation. She was in the business back in the day. A lot of people don't remember, what was it, Seventh Heaven? And that's how she got her start. She's a teenager. She's a
didn't
great
know that.
person. You know, I think she's so I have a hard time believing.
I personally, because Justin Timberlake is so fucking disgustingly talented in every single way humanly
He really
possible,
is, man.
Yeah.
that he,
Have you heard
I
him
think
play
people perceive him as a diva on set because he cares about his craft so much that he is detail oriented and he picks
Did you
those things
watch
because he
him
wants it to be
perform
good,
with Chris
not because he wants
Stapleton?
control.
Yeah.
He's
I
on
agree with
stage
you.
with Chris
Our boy's
Stapleton
good.
playing a guitar, and I'm just sitting there going like, "This is good." Like, I mean, he's Chris Stapleton, who, I mean, you ever want to see something funny? Watch black people's reaction to Chris Stapleton's Tennessee whiskey. It's some of the, you got people who've never heard country,
Yeah.
and Chris Stapleton's got that voice. They're like, "Oh yeah, getting my soul."
Well, it's
you know,
blues mixed with red dirt mixed with old country, I think, anyways.
I think it's just more blues. I think it's just all old school blues. Like, but we have a
Well,
blues fascination,
Or people
anyways.
of
It
color
is.
have a more soul-oriented, which I wish our culture had. And I
Oh,
wish we
right.
had that.
Yeah.
Because they are so, that's why they call it soul food. They're so
How did-
soul-oriented.
How did you mention soul food in the movie?
Because
like,
you just
blue-
mentioned it.
I didn't mention
Blue.
soul food.
Because when I think
Are
of
you
Blue-
really gonna call her out for going off topic, Junior?
Yeah, well, all right.
Yeah. Busted!
All right.
Love you, bro.
Because I know that Marcus will ask this. Okay, the biggest male diva and the biggest POS in Hollywood is Robert De Niro.
I've heard that.
He has not actually been on stage and acted with the majority of his cast members in close to 20 years.
Wow.
He demands on being on camera by himself, and he's next to impossible to work with, and he is just literally. This is a guy that truly believes his own bullshit. That like truly, and that's like I can tell stories about like on set is Robert De Niro.
What do you think, Marcus?
So, worst diva on set, at least based off what I've heard of, because I've actually seen videos of it happening, is Matt Damon.
Oh,
Really?
I've
no.
seen
heard of that
videos. I
too.
believe it was one of the Bourne movies, and there was the footage of him just like unleashing on. I want to say it was a crew member, and it was something really small. Like the crew member was like slightly in the wrong spot and got in his way, or something just like ridiculous, and he like almost quit the job over the situation. Like he got so ridiculously hot-headed for no reason and just like freaked out.
Wow.
So based on my knowledge of scenarios, I definitely would say Matt Damon.
Mm.
But going back to the original question,
Yes.
divas, are men or women worse?
I don't think it
it's
should.
equal.
Let me
I agree.
answer that last.
I don't think it should be gender. I think it's just because someone's 47 doesn't mean their maturity is there.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
you know, I think it's on how each person grew up. That is such a hard one. I just think it's based on personal experience.
So you're gonna stay neutral for this one.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jessica?
Yeah.
Jessica?
I'm going to say neutral because everybody can be a little bitch.
Okay.
Yes.
Leave it to the comedian, like, everybody can be a little bitch. Okay, well, all right then.
I think for myself, for the most part, I'm going to agree that I'm going to stay kind of neutral. However, I do want to point out between the two lists that we looked at of male divas and female divas.
We weren't
The
surprised
male
by
divas
any.
were the ones that we were totally not surprised by.
Yeah, that
Exactly.
is true.
You're right.
That's the one point I am going to make. The audience member can take that and go with it where they please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Junior, what are your thoughts?
From the years that I've been in it, I gotta be very blunt that I think men are the worst
Okay.
divas.
Question.
Go ahead.
Do you think they're closet divas only for the simple fact that there's this persona that men are supposed to be
No,
No.
really tough and
I can tell, because of the years that I've been in this business and what I've done behind the scenes and stuff like that. I'll just tell you now. You know what I would love? Okay, you know what I'll do? I'll start this off by apologizing to somebody, because every one of the people that I had dealt with Jeremy Renner had told me that he was a piece of shit.
oh yeah.
And then I watched a couple of his movies. And then he did a Taylor Sheridan movie, which blew my mind, Wind River. Which, if you grew up where I grew up, I mean, that was one of the, that was a punch me in the mouth story. And so I looked into some other people that had worked with Jeremy Renner. And come to find out, some of these other people maybe had not given me the right information. So I have to apologize for Jeremy Renner, to Jeremy Renner, like I don't even know him. I hear he's exceptionally hardworking, that he's exceptionally dedicated. He doesn't want you screwing around on set. Period.
Fair.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's, so I'm starting off this little rant with my experience based on an apology. So now I get to go off. Here we go. Just like, oh. No.
I've been here before.
Oh. You have not. Well, yeah, you have. But like Clint Eastwood, I would kill to work with him simply because he's an icon. He's such a worker, and he is so down to earth. Okay, I'm gonna throw a name out there. The biggest tool bag, douchebag in Hollywood is Tom Cruise. The whole Scientology thing and what, like literally, the guy had a walk.
Tooth.
He had a walk to an Academy Award with The Last Samurai. The guy spent 2 years learning Japanese. The guy went to kendo class. The guy learned all this stuff. It was, and the cast that supported him in that movie, it was a beautifully shot movie. Amazing movie. What does he do? This guy decides to come onto television and talk about his Scientology bullshit and slam Brooke Shields, which has been one of America's sweethearts since the 80s. Hello, Blue Lagoon. Probably jerked off to that at least 20 years of my life right there. I mean, come on. That was like, if you were in the childhood in the 80s and 90s, you did not have a crush on Brooke Shields. So he comes out and he slams her over... You missed Blue Lagoon?
No, I missed the crush on Brooke Shields.
Oh, man.
Tangent.
Anyway, so, I mean, that guy's a tool bag. And they even made, which is interesting, is I don't know how they did this. Has you ever watched the movie Tropic Thunder? They actually make fun of Tom Cruise in his younger days in that movie, yet Tom Cruise is in it playing the stereotypical agent in Hollywood, Les Grossman. We talk about Les Grossman on the set. Jessica had to go watch the movie because for the first 2 episodes, I'm walking around the set going, Diet Coke! And she didn't get it. And it was just like, because it made fun of Hollywood so much. So Tom Cruise, big douchebag. Really is all
I believe Tom Cruise was actually number
Yeah.
3 on our list.
Really? Who's number 1 on the
Yeah.
list?
J. Beebs.
JB. No, I can't buy him as number 1. I cannot buy him as number 1.
All right, well, I think that is going to conclude our first topic
Into
for
the
this
divas.
episode.
So after we come back from
break,
break, what are we going to talk about? Ooh,
we're going to go drink more
business
booze, and we will be back with you shortly.
Hey folks, we are really sorry for the technical difficulties that we had at the beginning of our show. We were unable to pick it up until we got into editing. Hopefully we have the problem solved now, and you'll be able to enjoy the rest of the show with much better sound quality. And once again, hey, thanks for supporting us and being part of our inaugural show. And it's only going to get better and bigger as we go along. So we're going to grab a drink, and we'll be right back.
That's why Jessica's not going to be on the show all the
He's
time.
already got. Has anybody watched Bridesmaids?
I love
He's
that
already got
freaking movie.
the steam under the undercarriage thing going, so it's already not awkward.
Okay, there's a great segue. Awkward moments on set.
Ooh.
You were part of one of
Always a
mine.
good time.
Okay, can I paint
Okay.
the picture?
Dun, dun, dun,
You
dun.
know,
Well,
I don't talk about
before
this.
you paint the picture, I just want to point out, think about this scenario from an audio perspective. You have high
That's what
quality
I'm trying to do.
you have high quality microphones.
Uh-huh.
You've got a direct input right into your nice earbuds going right into your ears. Yeah. It's a good time. So Junior.
Okay, so I'll paint the picture. We're doing a
Painting after sex is great.
another shot from Miss Jessica.
Well, I think
Jessica
she just
Brought to you by
stole
Adam and Eve.
the floor. Stole that bitch.
Is that something you really do?
Yeah, I like to paint after I have sex.
Okay.
It
wait
must-
a minute. We're
and
gonna
hold
get
on,
back.
hold on.
Hold on a second.
It must be the creative juices, no
Yeah.
pun intended, but
Really, that was
There's definitely
that was
juices.
the corniest segue ever. Like, must be the really creative juice. Do you really paint after sex?
I do. I like to paint happy.
Okay,
pretty
so ladies and
clouds.
gentlemen,
we're pretty close.
Jessica motherfucking Johnson. God, I wish we had like Samuel L. Jackson movies. Didn't hear say that. There's a story behind that. We'll tell whenever she's coming. Like, you really like?
Yeah,
What do you paint?
I paint pretty flowers and pretty clouds. And
Like right after, like,
Did
hey,
you
hold the
smoke a-
phone.
No,
I'm
like-
gonna go paint.
Did you smoke a bowl at the break or something?
No,
Oh, the
like-
pretty cloud.
like
You're like
the
the
next-
Robert Ross of sex. We're gonna put some happy little trees over here after some happy
Yes.
little cunnilingus.
Well,
and-
it's like the next day. I like all of a sudden feel creative after having sex. Maybe it's because I don't have sex that often. I'm like, I feel so relieved.
Okay.
So like are the paintings like representations of the sex?
Yeah.
Because you could like do a whole series. You could literally just call it like the orgasm series, and then like name each
That is
photo.
brilliant.
You could name
That is-
each. You can name each painting the
Oh my
date
God.
of the time that you had
see,
sex that inspired
I
that
don't
painting.
finish a painting like because it's oil.
You finish
so
for sex
it-
though,
So
right?
You fake,
Like-
so you fake the ending is what you're saying?
Well, no, like I put the painting away, and then I like after I have sex again, I come back to the painting, and then it eventually gets finished.
Okay, so
That's what
this-
she said.
This just opened up. Okay, so
You failed to mention that last time.
Jessica, you're
Hmm.
Go
You're a
through
stand-up
divorce.
comedian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
you're married for quite a long time.
Yeah, 19 years.
Do you feel like you're kind of catching up now? You're trying to catch up on some lost
No, I mean, like, I had a lot of sex while I was married. I mean, that was never the issue.
Oh, so
Well, that got
tangent.
dark.
So how was that?
Yeah.
How was you being married and what you're going through now
I-
with you being on the stage? How is that? How did that make that awkward?
well, for me, it didn't make it awkward. I like him now, like, more, like, empowered on this stage. But I've seen people where, like, they have gone through breakups and on the stage where it's kind of like they have to, like, share them. Like, you get so-and-so this week, and then you get the other person this week. It's like a shared custody thing, so you don't really...
Speaking of shared custody,
Yeah,
you know where I want to go with that.
yeah,
So you work improv.
yeah.
You had a divorce inside an improv group that you were a part of.
It was a breakup.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I was talking about. Like,
How
shared-
awkward was that shit?
It was pretty awkward.
Because no, you know what? I will say one thing on another note. Like you were, we were working on a sitcom about 3 years ago, and you and I used to have some conversations because I was writing for you, and we had some conversations. Like we wanted to write you this great role, like and take this role, and you were excited about it. You're like, this could upset the home front. Whereas now you're like, Is he
Fuck
hot?
it.
Let's do it.
Is he hot?
Yeah, like,
Like,
please just find me somebody hot to like make out with on scene.
because we
And then so I can go paint afterwards.
Yes.
I've got to write that in somehow.
You
I don't know how to
you
do
go
that.
to like a one night stand, or you're like, this is my pain, my homage to you. Okay,
No, you
bye.
see, that's going to be the romance novel. One night art stand.
Oh,
And it's just gonna, the
That's
cover
not
is just gonna be a
awkward at
picture
all.
of some like
I
dude
gotta
with
call
really nice
Mercy
abs
Golden,
and just
the-
paint
the-
all over his
the
body.
female writer that I work with that writes senior romance.
You are my art.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
paint you.
You inspire me.
Oh yes.
No, but like on a funny, probably not funny at the time. Like, was it hard to deal with that? Like, because you guys perform like 1 or 2 times a week. Like,
Well, yeah, and eventually, like they just don't. They like I said, they perform. Like we get one week, and then we get the other the next week.
so you have shared basically custody of the stage.
Yeah.
So-
with them.
So the
Like-
question is who made the call for you guys that made that happen? Was it like the rest of like the
Did
team
the
of
cast
the
do it, or
cast
did,
that
like,
was
the director
doing
be
it?
Like, no, we gotta, like,
I'm
knock
not
this
really
off.
sure exactly how it happened, but I'm pretty sure it was all consensual.
Like everybody was
Gotcha.
like,
You had to use
this
that
is-
word.
They were
You had to
like-
roll with that word, consensual. Are you serious? How much rum have we drank? We're in show 1
Not enough.
of 2 today. Oh my god. Okay, Jamie. All right. Well, you know what? There's an uncomfortable moment that involves the 3 of us.
Oh yes.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Mind you, caveat to this story
This
real
is
quick. I'm gonna
so
point out
embarrassing.
this story happened the second time I had ever been on set with
Work
Junior
for-
and
work
Jamie.
for Jamie.
really? I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
It was the second time.
The first time, was, yeah.
Well,
Okay,
what
so-
a way to
so-
break in.
If
So
you
I'm
count
gonna-
by like the times total that we shot,
I'm gonna
because
tell-
okay.
because
okay.
like
I'll
the
tell
first time was the
Jessica the
Sisterhood
story.
Mansion, and then we did the reshoot, and then
That's right.
but
You
this
did
was
reshoot
in
it?
between the reshoot and then
Not that one. No, we
No.
had that.
I'm like,
when we did John
I
Safe
can't
House
do
and all
your
that.
job right, boy.
Oh God. Okay, so here's the situation from the actor side of it. Obviously, Jamie's been directing this feature film.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus came on, and Freeform Productions took over the sound engineering. Now, don't hold on before we go there. We have worked with an amazing individual, Nick Fry, who's like our mentor, our Jedi God, and he's going to keep working with us. But I mean, it's he's amazing to work with. But he had worked on the first initial, really helped us out. So anyway, here's the scenario. So we have a story, and I've had to do this a few times in my acting career, and we're just going to talk about awkward moments on set. So an awkward moment is we have, and from a writer's point of view, I don't like gratuitous sex. I mean,
What's wrong with it?
She's like, I feel attacked right now.
Open her up
She's like,
like,
you have
wait a
officially
minute.
offended me, and I'm a
It's like,
comedian.
wait a minute, what do you
It's
think?
official. Jessica has
What do
been
you think I
offended.
watched that shit for? Okay, but like, I want like, I've seen some really okay. A prime example.
You as a
we
person
watched-
don't like to participate in that kind of.
Well,
writing.
no. It's like if you have an intimate scene that involves sexual contact, if it's a beautiful scene and it tells the story, I am all about it. Like, I am very much all about it. Like, if you can show the story, like, even in a stupid sci-fi film, there is an intimate scene in Underworld 2 between, is it 2, where they kind of
Oh, I
hook up?
can't remember.
But it's really well done. It's
Yeah.
implied. You see the bodies. Another prime example is
Meet
in-
Joe Black is my favorite.
I
That
never
is my
even
absolute favorite love scenes. Meet Joe Black.
I never even thought that really is kind of a beautiful love scene.
It is because like he like comes like he has like this moment where he's like comes to, you know, like a human.
You know, okay, I don't know if you guys have seen any of these, but like we've been studying them recently to like add to our
Sex
repertoire.
scenes?
But like no. That's we all have Pornhub during quarantine, okay? It's free.
Pretty sure a lot of people broke that, by the way. Tangent.
Not
But
a tangent.
finish what you're saying.
But
Yeah.
like a prime example is if you watch the episodes of NYPD Blue, that came out in the 90s. They were showing way more of the body
Mm-hmm.
than TV was allowed to show. But they did it in a way where it was classy and it was between the husband and the wife, and it was very,
And so I've always been a fan of that. And the European style is like, if you look at Europeans who show nudity on television, they do it in a way where it's like, okay, you know what? They showed a husband and wife together, but they don't show a dude and his like they don't do that. Like, I mean, they're very classy about how they do it. So we have a scene where Marcus his company is on set for the first time. Okay. Second time. Well, no.
Yeah.
Your company was on set for the first time. You had been working for the studio, but then you were on the set as
That's right.
Freeform
Fair
Production.
enough.
It was
Okay.
your company. You're not just on set being an extra and acting and stuff like that. Your company's on set doing sound.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, you're doing Mr. Fry's job. Jamie's directing.
Yep.
We've written this beautiful story of within the story of this wife has been without her husband for a long time, and the way we shot it is this husband and wife are cuddling in bed, and you know, let's
making
face
up
that.
for lost times.
Some stuff happens, you know, but we have to do it within reason. So me and the actress are both clothed. She did have a wardrobe malfunction, which was kind of funnier than shit because I had to tell her, and it was like, oh god, I'm like so embarrassed. It's like, at what point in my life should I be embarrassed to see a boob? But you're being respectful. So you as a director set it up probably the best that I've ever worked with. The only other way that I've seen it done that way is there's a very intimate scene in The 300, a movie that I know a lot about, and they had a camera operator and like his assistant with the director, and that was it. It was a closed set. And so for me, it was very awkward because my wife is directing her husband
From another
and
room.
a friend. And okay, I'm going to tell you the funny story part of it is evidently like I was not giving in to the role.
Okay. I have
Hold on.
We're botching this.
No. Okay, I was screwing it up. Like, I am supposed to be in the moment, and my wife is supposed to crawl up on top of me, and she reaches down. And I'm a writer. So I think of this beautiful notebook moment, and the director had set it up where Video Village was outside, and everything was outside, so we were weapons free. We're do whatever you do. She's like, she wants it. I want you to jump in on this because at one point I wasn't being intimate enough, Jessica.
Apparently,
like,
our actress grew 10 pounds because all of a sudden he's going like this.
I'm robotic arms.
He's not even close to her actress.
And how many times did you have to walk in and like we had to cut and retake, and you had to walk in and be like, be more natural. Like, we grab more boob. We need to see some boob grabs.
Grab her ass.
Meanwhile, this is the actual
And be
wife.
like,
She takes, and the actress's name was Shannon, and she takes, and her and Shannon actually are friends, and she's like, "Damn it, grab it, like grab it," and I'm like, "Okay," like I didn't know what to do.
I seriously at a couple points thought you were gonna start crying. I thought you were gonna cry at one point, honestly.
I was so, okay.
Maybe I was a little bit aggressive more than I should have.
Oh, gotta do what you gotta do,
Sorry.
man.
And we're poly, so that should not have bothered me at all. I am freaked the hell out right now. I'm sweating.
Well,
I've got a prosthetic
hold
blood
on,
thing
hold on.
on me.
I burst in and they're like, "We didn't do it!" Oh my god!
Like teenagers getting caught by their parents.
I didn't touch her. I swear to God. And she looked at her and goes, "He didn't touch me."
You or anything.
And she gets
Audio
mad.
and video.
Because she had spandex on and so we were trying to imply that she was naked and with the respect of everybody
Okay,
else.
now
So
don't stop talking. But when it was all said and done, it's really a beautiful scene.
Oh yeah.
It's like you think of like this couple like, and I think of it in my life, and it really was when we get the footage out of it. But what you go through to get this in these awkward scenes and being on stage with people awkwardly is not like people sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, so and so was on set with all right, who's an amazing hot actress." I got
Mila
to do
Kunis.
I got what?
Mila Kunis.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, no, we don't want to
She's-
talk about Mila. Oh shit. Okay. Okay,
I'll
so
have to
let's
walk
say,
out of the room for a few minutes if
yeah,
we talk
I mean,
about her.
thank you. I mean, it's just, it's like, oh yeah, Junior got to get Mila. Okay, yeah, that sounds great, but in front of the camera, it sucks. You got 40 people watching you. Like even Jack and Rick had some intimate moments.
Yeah, and
We couldn't even really have those because there's like people behind us. It's like we're giving these intimate moments, and you're trying to explain to people.
did that orgasm. Remember?
Oh, oh, that's right.
I can't remember the scene, but God,
I
yeah.
touched
my
her
God.
hair, and I'm like,
Oh,
yeah. That
the
was,
funniest part of that is we failed to notify the rest of the
forgot.
cast that you were gonna do that, and the cameraman looks at me and goes,
Is
whoa,
she really having an
are we gonna
O
lose
on
our fucking
camera?
rating? I'm like, go with it, keep rolling. And she's like, she's going through this character's hair. She's like, because he's got this long
It was
flowing
just
locks,
kind of a joke.
and she's just running through. She's like, and the rest of the cast is like, oh, fuck.
It wasn't part of it.
We didn't know. Well,
because most of my stuff that I did for Jack, I just improv'd it.
you did such a good job,
'Cause-
Jack became such an amazing character. Like, if that show only comes out for like 6 episodes, like that's one of those casts.
I wish
um,
Marcus
You could
could
make
have been a part of that.
show off of. You could make a show off of
He-
Jack.
And I wish
Oh,
he could
Jack
have been a
Of
part of that.
Loco? You mean
Chris
Jack?
would have loved it. You guys would have loved to
Jack,
be on that show.
Jack
Yeah.
is my favorite.
Yeah, you know, and the thing of it is like the different like when you would pin up girl one day and then the curls. I mean, that character is like.
Did that launch you into doing? Sorry, side note. Did that launch you into doing kind of your improv?
Well, I was already doing the improv. I was already taking the classes and going up on stage
Oh, I didn't know that.
while I was doing Loco.
Oh.
So
'Cause you were working with Karen Pearsons at the time, right?
no, I wasn't. I was just doing that, and
You
I
were
was
doing your own
I was just doing my own thing. Karen,
and now
I
you're
did
fucking Jessica
motherfucking Johnson. Yeah.
That's gotta be her first like hour-long like Netflix special.
I think so.
Jessica motherfucking Johnson. That's good.
Yeah, except I'm gonna my last name. I think I'm gonna change it.
Oh,
Yeah.
are you gonna
Yeah.
are you gonna change the last name?
Yeah.
Which is
Well, I don't know. I could go back to my maiden name. I could just
what is the main name?
the maiden name's Thomas.
Really?
Jessica motherfucking Thompson. One generic American name to another generic
Yeah, I
American
know.
name.
Like I like my Facebook right now is Jessica May.
Oh, that's cool.
Which
Is
that's
my
what, you have like the sex picture on that one.
yeah.
That is hot. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Like stick your dick in my mouth.
Whoa! Okay. So getting back to awkward moments
All
on
right.
set. This will come back to an awkward moment.
So talking about
Yeah,
awkward
Marcus.
moments on set.
What is your one of your
Sorry.
awkward moment?
Jesus.
Honestly, in my experience, I think the most awkward experience I've had hasn't necessarily been the typical love scene. I haven't really filmed anything like that. But working with people that I really, really, really don't like, that can get
Ooh.
awkward. And trying to
Yeah.
like figure out how to not
Okay,
treat them the way that you
let's-
want to
let's-
treat them.
Let's
Yes.
Yeah.
keep this in a way that we can.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you've had to work behind the scenes with somebody that's part of a studio that you came into who's extremely unprofessional.
Yes.
That's been rough.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
that's not uncommon in this business.
Yeah.
Like to the point where you went to, just so everybody knows, like the audience, you went to the director, and the director looked at you and said, "I know, we're stuck." Like you both were in, like,
Yep.
you know,
Like you said,
I
that's
mean-
just part of the business.
yeah.
But still, I mean, there's still a fine line between. And just because people are in the business doesn't mean that I don't think that they're professional per se. So I think trying to stay on that line of, hey, I understand this is what you do when this happens, but please don't cross this line.
Right.
And I'm your friend, but there
Mhm.
also please be professional with me. And I think there's a fine line. So going upward in the studio, I think, is a good call to let somebody else know. Going, hey, this is what's going on.
That's why she
if
owns
this
the company.
feels
I don't,
this,
'cause I'm like, fire this motherfucker now.
well, I
You know?
mean, if we fire anybody we don't like, then we're just as bad as
Yeah.
anybody else who you
Is that
can't
the
have
lawyer
a
talking?
conversation.
I'm feeling like the lawyer called her up and like, before you answer this question.
No,
Jenna,
the way I think, and anybody who knows me, I'm this a Rubik's Cube. So just because I don't, most of the time I don't even agree with what I say, but sometimes you have to do it for the project or the business, and you have to be professional
bigger
with
picture,
everybody. You have to
literally.
treat everybody differently. And
have you ever had like a music, an audio situation you were recording where it like got very well awkward? I know you didn't work well with them, or
kind of, but not in the sense that you're probably thinking of. I used to be in a marching band when I was going through college and stuff in Bozeman.
right?
And there were some individuals that I worked with there that I had a hard time with. Very, very competitive between the two of us, like to the point where like he almost started like slashing my tires and things to make me late to practices.
Okay, yeah, that's like
Yeah.
you make a light of the situation.
that's
Yeah.
next level.
Shit was getting destroyed. People were getting killed.
Over
Okay, oh, well,
over being the
alright.
section leader at a marching band. That's what it was for.
Wow. Holy cow.
So those movies, like, there was a marching band movie I watched.
Drumline?
Drumline?
Drumline.
Oh my god, I love Drumline.
Really? So is it like kind of real? Like,
Oh, marching is a whole thing.
okay,
It's a whole thing.
All I know from going to do a D1 college is
Oh my god, I gotta pull this picture up real quick for you guys.
so all I
Memory
know
School Lane.
I want to
is
see it.
whether you be on the football team or with me in the wrestling team in a D1 college is, I mean, the drum line and the marching band. My God, they work.
It takes militant precision to be able to do
Yeah.
that shit
I
the way
mean,
they do.
work.
Yeah.
The only
The
thing that,
multitasking is on level 30,000.
like, the only thing that upset me, like, is I felt that I wish that they would have had strength and conditioning
Why?
in their
I know why, but why?
In real life,
Tell
I
the
can tell you
audience.
they do.
No, I wish they would have had strength and conditioning.
So they can be
in-
hot and sexy?
As it
Not everybody can be Nick Cannon, okay?
Why not cheerleaders do it? We're not the marching band.
Wow, is that really?
I'd watch it.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Is that where we're going?
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
Oh my. Anyway, oh my God! Seriously, you two. No, I'm saying like strength and conditioning because when you sit there, you start talking about marching 10 hours a day. Like where I went to college was in the. What are you giving me knife hand stuff?
I really,
Oh, that
really
is
can't believe you guys have
awesome.
never seen that picture of me.
I have not.
I
Wow.
love it.
Hey, and that little girl over
Yeah.
there, she's kind of hot. She got the whole. Anthony.
Junior, you
Hot
think
guy.
everybody's hot. Come
No
on.
kidding.
Hey, everyone wants to be.
I see an eyeball on that piece of paper over there.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Well, what are you doing
got a
later
party
tonight?
now.
I think I'm going to put something in you. Sorry.
That's
Really, Jess?
well, she's just just reiterating what you
I didn't say any of them. Okay, all I said was strength and conditioning for band.
You think Mac is sexy?
So what? Okay, so I've heard of pansexual and bisexual. What am I like? Omnisexual? or something?
Technisexual? Is that
Technisexual.
Oh my god, we could make a whole A&E special
Oh
about you.
my God.
You're gonna marry your
announce
MacBook.
I'm gonna announce welcome to Off the Wall with your technisexual
Technisexual?
Junior JMR. Are you seriously? Okay,
Billings local
I said-
technisexual.
I said I wish that band had strength and conditioning because I felt like they got shirked because they had to march and work so hard and they never got to, kiss my.
I'm
fuck
sorry.
You too.
No.
Fuck you.
Have you ever
You
been
know,
to the
You
the
get all sexual with guns. What would that be? Instead of technosexual, like
Amosexual.
is it because it's ammunition?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, all right.
Did you hear how sultry he got? Like,
He's like,
I also yeah.
all of us are doing that, going, oh,
you do
guns.
realize we
I
have
can
a
use
whole
my
other show to
45
do
right
after
now.
this. And
Oh.
Jessica's just now coming into her full.
She's
I'm
like,
about-
I'm uncomfortable. I'm
I'm
leaving.
about
She's
ready.
like,
You know what she says?
she's like, I'm not much. Are you a gun fan?
I like to shoot him, but I don't
No,
really.
you know what she's
Yeah.
doing right now? She's like,
She's like, I'm not a fan, but
shut
I
it,
could become.
shut
one.
it. You know what she's doing? She's doing. Give me a canvas and some paints. Get ready.
No, that's not what I'm doing.
I like your big barrel.
Sorry, huge
So in the
tangent.
stand-up, so in the stand-up world, have you had any awkward
Maybe even with the audience, like you.
Oh yeah, like I'm fairly new to stand up, and I don't like not really that great. I mean, I've
I think you are.
Whatever. All stand-ups say that. It's like even Joe Rogan's like, man, I'm still mastering my craft. I'm like, dude, you're Joe fucking Rogan.
yeah.
You know,
So I guess like
Brandon Schwab is the same way.
I
You
guess
know?
I had to learn because I felt awkward when I did stand up because the whole place would be silent and then laugh and then be silent and then laugh. And then one of my friends who does stand up, and he's very good and he makes money at it. He's like, Jessica, they're quiet. You notice that they're quiet. He's like, were they quiet for all the other people? I'm like, some of them, yeah. He's like, they're quiet because they were listening to you.
Oh.
So I was
So did that change
feeling,
it? Did that
yeah,
change
that
it?
changed
Like,
it
That's cool.
because I didn't notice, and I noticed the difference between some of the stand-ups because some of the stand-ups don't, because you're just one person up there, so
Yeah.
it's really hard. And some of the stand-ups, like they get like people and they continue to talk, but I notice every time I get up there, everybody is quiet. Like sometimes I don't get a laugh, but sometimes I do, but everybody is still. I have engaged enough so I have their full attention, which I was thinking I was doing really bad, but it's one thing that I have. I have like I have their fucking attention.
So how did that be perceived as to you as okay, I'm a stand-up comedian and an improv, but they're not laughing?
Well, I guess like I tell stories when I do stand up, so it's more of a long form stand up, I guess. And I should shorten my jokes up because my jokes are probably about 2.5 minutes long, and they should be about a minute long.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I need to work on my shit. But yeah, so I'm hoping to come out with some new stuff, and I hope it like is received better. But I mean, my stuff has been received well. I mean, I get the laughs when I get to the fucking point.
Is that kind of how your sex
So-
life is too?
So you came to a point where you were such a storyteller, and it's so funny because you're
Quiet.
yes.
Yes.
So
when you come out, like when we were editing the footage for the opening of Loco, the show.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you remember the part where Rick is being served by a process server.
Yeah.
And you had thought the guy was cute Jack had thought the guy was cute in the bar.
Yeah.
And we had to have that. Like it was just like that was where, and you were wearing like this bustier, the boobs.
Yeah, my boobs are always out.
You're just freaking
Same.
throwing it. And it's just like, but you know, the thing of it is, where I think a lot of people would think that with what you do, they would be uncomfortable.
Uh-huh.
You accept and run with the uncomfortable.
Yeah, I am really comfortable with the uncomfortable. I mean, I kind of almost feel like that's where I thrive because I like to feel uncomfortable.
that scares the living shit out of me.
Um,
I had to do it, and I had to do it in college.
I don't even.
And I'm swaying back and forth. Like, oh my god.
I don't. I like it when I feel uncomfortable.
So, speaking of uncomfortable, we're going to end this show in a 15-minute segment because Marcus and I have a fetish. And I'm not talking like...
And not the kind where you paint after sex.
Yes. Or somebody wears a ball gag or anything along those lines. Marcus and I have an equal hatred for somebody.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's so bad. And when it... Okay, so...
I will say, I'm going to stop you there, though. I can't say the word hate because I don't like the word hate.
It's a big word.
Strong
hate's a big word.
dislike and
Same
lack
word.
of respect.
Yes.
Okay.
And like me, I want to be on the cover of People magazine beating the shit out of a said person and like smiling going and like...
Why would you want that? Because they'd probably make at least $1 million off of it.
But so would I.
That's
You
true.
know, I mean, it's... Okay, so
Worth it.
I am from Cody, Wyoming. Very small town.
Mm-hmm.
Upper northern on the east side of Yellowstone Park. Very small town.
I love
Very
Cody.
It's a great art
western,
museum.
It
Yeah.
is.
Very really.
It's a great art
It's
museum
about all
in
that's
the whole
there, but
city.
it's great.
That's funny.
No, it doesn't.
I
Pain
almost
has a
didn't get
gallery
that.
It has like
there.
that. It has. It's like a really great proctor. Like I've been there, and it's like that. That museum is fucking bomb.
You know, and they have the
Yes.
number one. Ready for this? They have the top firearm museum in the world.
I didn't know that.
Oh, they have.
Isn't that like the
They're
Buffalo
they're
Bill?
museum it up in
Yeah.
Cody, Wyoming.
Yeah, I mean it's.
What'd you
it's
say, Marcus?
I think it's Buffalo Bill, right? The Buffalo
the
Bill
Buffalo
Museum
Bill.
in
Yeah,
Cody.
Yeah, it's fucking sweet.
So,
as
Yeah.
shit.
I've seen that gun
and
display.
I got,
It was-
we can have a show about this. I got a lot
Oh,
of history there.
that's a whole nother tangent.
Yeah.
Jessica and I can talk about Vic Payne and bronzing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I want it bronzed,
Oh.
but just thought I would throw it out there. But anyway, a very interesting individual and his wife
Ooh,
moved
yes.
to that. Oh, ready for that? You ready?
uh-oh,
Ready
we
for
have no
this?
idea
Who
what you're
is
talking
it?
about.
Moved to the area, and I have some connection. But Marcus has
Maybe.
come up with a board game called the Three Rounds.
I didn't come up with it.
I thought you come up.
The board
with
game exists. I just think it'd be fun to play it on the show.
Okay, so the board game is what? 3 rounds of Kardashian.
Keeping up or Cards Against the Kardashians.
Cards Against the
yes.
Kardashians.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
I get it.
Good.
Mm.
They were gonna trade Jackson because I just came from Jackson.
She just wanted to use
Really?
that to show her boobs. Like she's got great breasts, and she's
Oh,
like
they're huge.
even in her show, like she like was always like showing them off, and
Well, I mean, they are fucking humongous, and they're a size fucking E for God's fucking sake.
Holy
You probably
shit,
have
really?
really bad back problems, don't you?
I do.
Like on a serious
Wait a
note, I
minute.
bet your back hurts
I do,
all the
thank you
fucking
for
time.
asking.
Do you seriously
I saw
have
that
these?
mental theater.
Well, I don't buy the E's. I buy the double D's. But yes, if I bought a bra that fit, it would be an E. But
Mhm.
they upcharge for the non-regular sizes.
Yes.
So did you pay for those, or are they natural?
They're fucking natural as fucking shit. Why
Wow.
would anybody pay for these?
I don't know.
At
There's a couple women on
5'3",
Pornhub
yeah,
that
I would like a size E.
Okay. If you only have audio, I don't even know. Like, if you ever have a dog, that,
I
like,
did not
lifts
know
their
you were
hind
that
leg-
flexible. No wonder you love to paint.
If you have a dog that takes their hind leg and puts it over their ear to lick their cooch,
That
that's
is-
pretty much what Jessica motherfucking Johnson just did to prove. You know what? Okay. So
You
anyway,
love
getting
making people
back-
awkward, don't you? I hear just
We
a
even have
turd.
another show to do. This is gonna be funny. Okay, so 2 rounds of Kardashian. Marcus, I'm gonna let you start.
Okay, so
Wait
I'm gonna
for it.
start off with my girl Chloe. Okay,
Okay,
so Chloe's.
I'd bang Chloe. Like Chloe's on the bangable list, just so that you know.
I
Yeah.
can finish.
Yeah,
Shh, you're stealing his thunder.
I'm trying to like relate.
Shush! I'm gonna put that.
Get a
No,
ball
okay,
egg
so
in my mouth.
Chloe-
Yes.
She like definitely gets the respect of being like one of the businesswomen of the family for sure. Like she
Right.
definitely brought her like Chloe Cosmetics brand up all by herself and all of that. However,
Oh,
if
here we
you're
go.
going to use your name to sell a product such as Chloe's very known for her lip products, the Chloe lip kits,
Yeah.
if you're going to come out with a product like that and you're going to use your name to hype it up, make sure that it's not faulty when you deliver it to people's doorsteps.
Now you must
What?
tell me because
There-
I don't know about this.
No.
There was
I
a
wanna hear this.
huge thing when Chloe was, because one of the first products that she wanted to release from her line was her lip products, because she's really known for the lip kits. And there was an issue with the wands on the lipsticks, and so the wands were breaking and falling off and were like melting in the bottles, and like all
Oh
these
my
just like weird things
gosh.
were happening because they spent so much time on the formula. She half-assed the container.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's a
would
detail.
love for you guys to
Screw
watch the
up.
video where Jeffree Star rips on her when that whole thing happened.
Ah, I
Oh,
love Jeffree Star.
Yes, he is
And
my
you know what's
everything.
interesting
Wow.
is Jeffree Star. Talk about a pioneer.
Don't even get me started on him. I will talk about him
That's
all
a
day.
huge ass fan.
I
Kardashians,
fucking love
Kardashians.
that
Are you
man.
a fan?
Huh?
Are you a fan?
I'm a huge fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on.
But yeah,
Kardashian rant. What?
I have to pee.
You
I'm gonna
can't.
head that way.
Nope. Can't.
Can I head that way?
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
I'd say she's fine.
I gotta pee.
Jesus, Jamie, we still have another show to do.
All right, so I'm gonna take a minute to go on a little rant here.
Is this a Kardashian rant?
This is the Kardashian rant, Junior.
Dun, dun,
The
dun,
moment
dun.
you've been waiting for.
Yes.
We all just love them so much that we felt it necessary to take 15 minutes out of our day every time we record just to bash them. So I'm going to go ahead and start out with Little Miss Kylie, okay? So Kylie's kind of the one that's known for being like the entrepreneur and starting all of her own businesses and da-da-da-da-da. And I just have a lot to say about that. So first of all, if you're going to come up with a brand and you're going to bank on your name being the sole reason that your brand's going to sell, you best make sure that your products are quality.
That's business 101.
Oh, absolutely. You think
Yeah.
it's common sense, and when you have that much money in your bank account, you think
Right.
you would know these
Oh,
things.
for sure.
That's why I have a problem with it, because she thinks she can do whatever she wants because she's Kylie Kardashian. So Kylie Cosmetics. In looking at this and the original thing I wanted to talk about, I realized that there's a little bit more going on than I thought there was. So this is going to be fun.
Tell.
We had to take
So-
a break, ladies and gentlemen, because he is about ready to kill people over here. So
All right.
we're going to be very quiet and let him go.
So I'm not going to go over every little mistake that has been made with her brand because I'd be here all day. So we're going to go over some of my favorites. One of the original scandals that was happening when her brand first was released was the fun little experience people were having with her lip kits. Lips are everything in the beauty industry, and she banked on that again with her product. And she came up with the Kylie lip kit, which was like this whole, I think it was like $30 retail, and it's like a whole little package that comes with a gloss and a lip liner, and all these things are supposed to make your lips just absolutely perfect, just like Kylie. And she released this product, she hyped it up, she paid
Did it come
$1
with
million
Botox
in
and
marketing and advertising.
I didn't know if it came with Botox and needles.
Oh, yeah, no, that's the fun part.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
No Botox and needles in this one.
Damn it.
But yeah, so after releasing and doing all this hype and all these things, the product started getting purchased and everybody got their packages, and they were sadly disappointed with what they got. Basically, long story short, the package was shit. The product itself was great. People were loving the formula, but they were not loving the fact that they couldn't put the formula on their face without it getting all over their clothes or breaking. So that was a wonderful beginning for the Kylie Cosmetics brand.
Beginning to the end.
And then I found this. So,
Uh-oh, here he goes.
all right. So, in some of the research I was doing, I came across an article talking about an advertisement campaign that Kylie Cosmetics did.
Oh, that is not what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're saying.
No
So, according to
way.
Stylecaster.com, in October, fans lambasted Kylie and Kylie Cosmetics for releasing advertisements comparing cleft lip and cleft palate children to, quote, monsters. The ads were mailed to many households across the country, were a part of Kylie and Kylie Cosmetics' partnership with the charity Smile Train, an organization that raises money to help children in financially struggling countries receiving surgeries to fix their cleft lips and cleft palates.
Oh God.
The advertisements included pictures of cleft lip. I cannot fucking talk today. Thanks, Captain Morgan. The advertisements included pictures of cleft lip and cleft palate children, accompanied phrases like, "What if every day felt like Halloween?" which many fans
No.
interpreted as the charity comparing the children to monsters.
Oh, God.
After the advertisement's release, fans called on Kylie, who has donated more than $100,000 to the charity, to fix the insensitive
$100,000
marketing.
from a fucking Kardashian.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm
That's
sorry, what, a party
nothing.
weekend?
Yeah.
That's
That is
pocket change.
nothing.
Kiss my
Yeah,
ass.
That's
dude.
pocket change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
And
like
it's
I don't
a
even
tax
need to
write-off.
say anything more
No
about
kidding.
this. I think it's disgusting. And as
Yeah.
if I didn't already ever want to avoid purchasing any of her products, there is no way in hell you were ever going to see me
Oh,
at a
my.
Kylie Cosmetics counter. End of rant.
That is crazy.
Yeah. And then there's ants.
And then there's ants.
And there's ants.
And a whole plethora of other fucked up shit that she's done.
Oh my God.
Jess, you have a Kardashian rant.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a Kardashian rant. Like,
Because after we get the, what is it,
Cards Against the Kardashians.
Cards Against the Kardashians.
We're going to start playing that for the last 15 minutes of every show.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
That's funny.
Kardashian rant, like, I feel like they were okay in the beginning. Like, it was like, oh, okay, here are these ridiculously good-looking people making money off of just being ridiculously good-looking. And then all of a sudden, everybody's like, weird. Like, I don't know. It's like, oh, I don't even know. That one doesn't look the same anymore.
Like too much plastic surgery.
Yeah,
Plastic
too much.
surgery.
Too much.
Botox.
It's like, okay, so this is obviously not what I want for my life.
Did I
Almost
tell
like
you
it-
guys about the video that I saw of, I think it was Kim, trying to put on the latex suit?
No.
Oh my gosh. This just goes to show what these people will do to make a few extra bucks. There was, I believe it was some sort of fashion show. I honestly don't know which one it was for, but obviously Kim, she's known more in the fashion industry.
Uh-huh.
So she obviously had to make an appearance. And there was a video and an article about this outfit that she wore to this event. I believe it was either Cosmopolitan magazine or Vogue magazine. And they had released a video of her and literally like 8 assistants trying to help her put on this body tight latex
Oh,
suit.
God.
And when I
Oh,
say suit,
gosh.
I'm talking about like a full on long sleeve suit top followed by
Basically a
tight
body condom.
latex
I was getting ready to
pants
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
up over her freaking ridiculous badonkadonk.
Yeah, that
And then
badonkadonk
over the
is-
top, there
Like-
was a latex blazer. Like a full on like
Oh,
sport coat
God.
style
Oh, God.
shaped piece of latex that she was wearing.
You know what? I'll
And
tell
it
you
was all solid gold.
what, give her credit.
What?
It
for
was
having
honestly
the-
hideous.
give Kim credit, and I'm just gonna throw this out there, for having the world's worst figure, and somehow using the media to make it like this is what you should look like.
Oh, it's
And it's
disgusting.
like, dude, you're fat. I'm gonna call it what it is, dude. I have been overweight in my life. I have struggled with, having to be in shape for, roles or because I was competing. Dude, you are sitting there telling me that looks good? No. You got calves that are this big. You got no shape whatsoever in your legs. And you got
You're just
this.
hips.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
All just hips.
It's nothing. You know what? The thing
Well,
of
what
it is
ethnicity or what kind of background does she have? Like,
Kardashian. Well, her
Comedian.
here's
is
no.
that what it is?
Well, and that's
Is it?
that's where we'll have to get into that into another thing because you got to look at who her dad was. I mean, his only claim to fame is the guy was one of the greatest defense lawyers of all time in America.
Wasn't he a tennis player too?
No, he was on the OJ case. That's how he got his start.
Oh wait,
Oh,
I'm thinking
that's
Bruce Jenner
right.
because Bruce Jenner. Never mind.
They're
They're not
Is
actually
it
related.
Bruce,
Wrong
because
person.
Bruce was a track
Caitlyn.
star, and now it's Caitlyn Jenner. And
Right.
I know you want to go down that road.
Oh
so,
yeah.
Jamie,
We'll save
before I
Daylin
even
to
go
talk
on
about
this,
that one.
Jamie Kardashian rant?
I don't have one.
Really?
Only because
Because you just
I
don't give a shit about
I
that stuff, do you?
really don't care.
You
Yeah, I
just
don't
don't care.
I mean, I'd rather watch other things and other reality TV, and I'm just not into the reality TV like that. Like, I watched it slightly once. I was like, well, my life does not suck as much as
Marcus?
that. Okay, turn off. Like, I just am not
60
into
seconds.
that.
Do you need 60 seconds?
60 seconds and cut me off.
Okay.
You ready?
Hold on.
No, you ready for this?
Ready.
Do I have to plug my ears?
Oh my God. Jessica, we could blind you with dental floss. We have another show to do.
Go.
Okay. So you're talking about people who are famous simply because of the fruits of Mr. Kardashian, who was a lawyer, okay? His ex-wife, what's her name? She is the matriarch of that household and has like pushed the business on those kids. You're literally talking the first people in America that are famous for being fucking nothing. The Kardashians have no fucking talent, no education. They have literally sold themselves as the prostitute of America. They're all pieces of shit. Kim, I liked Khloe. I got to admit, like there for a minute when she was married to the pro basketball player, and then he started fucking other women and other dudes and other animals and whatever fuck the shit he was doing, and embarrassed the shit out of them. You had Scott, who just can't put down a bottle for long enough to do fucking anything. And you got Kylie, that was the one that I think that everybody thought would turn out to be okay. And in that situation, you got a 16-year-old kid that is out fucking everything in Hollywood. Hey, you know what? I've been there. Let's not pretend like you weren't banging everything. You've been down with everything but the Titanic, and we don't even know about that yet, okay? So let's just call it what it is. They're pieces of shit. Kanye West wants to call himself the greatest musician ever. Bitch, Elvis, fuck you. Don't even call you. Oh my God, am I coming? Oh, 4 seconds. Okay, sorry. You're never going to be Elvis.
Hey everybody, we hope you enjoyed the show, and once again we really apologize for our technical difficulties for the first half. Because of that, we're going to go ahead and release the second show that was done just shortly after that, once more drinks were poured and that good old bathroom break. So, sit back, hit that subscribe button, and we'll come back with another show here shortly. Hopefully you should be able to punch it up within the hour. Once again, thanks for your support, and thanks for your patience as we get this show started. Take care.